DGRO, $500 a month. 20 years on the clock. If you have ever wondered what that combination actually turns into, not in vague terms, but in real dollars you could retire on, this video walks through the exact math. We are looking at the iShares Core Dividend Growth ETF, ticker DGRO, and what happens when you commit $500 every single month for 2 decades. This is a steady, repeatable habit, the same deposit hitting the same fund on the same schedule for 20 straight years. By the end of this video, you will know what that habit is worth at year 1, year 10, year 20, and if you stick with me, even what it would look like if you let it ride for 30. This is a dividend growth investing breakdown, so if you are new here, DGRO belongs to a category of ETFs built around companies that consistently raise their dividend payouts year after year rather than chasing the highest yield available today. That distinction is going to matter a lot once we get into the math, so keep it in the back of your mind as we go. DGRO tracks the Morningstar U.S. Dividend Growth Index. It launched in June of 2014, so it has now lived through a pandemic crash, a rate hiking cycle, and multiple rounds of market panic, and it has raised its dividend every single year it has existed. That streak now runs past a decade. The fund holds close to 400 companies, charges a rock-bottom expense ratio of 0.08%, and pays out quarterly rather than monthly. That last detail matters, and we will come back to it in the risks section. Quick note on that expense ratio. 0.08% means that on a $100,000 position, you are paying roughly $80 a year to own the entire fund. Compare that to a lot of actively managed dividend funds charging 10 times that amount, and you start to see why a low-cost structure matters just as much as the return itself over a 20-year stretch. Fees compound too, just in the wrong direction, quietly eating returns every single year you hold the fund. Let's talk about who this fund actually holds. DGRO leans into established, profitable businesses with a track record of raising cash back to shareholders. Names like ExxonMobil, Johnson & Johnson, Apple, and JP Morgan Chase sit near the top of the portfolio. These are not speculative names. They are companies that have paid and grown dividends through good years and bad ones. One more practical note before we get into the numbers. This entire strategy works because it's automatic. Most brokers now let you schedule a recurring investment so that $500 leaves your account and buys DGRO shares on the same day every month, whether the market is up, down, or sideways that week. Fractional shares mean you don't need to wait to save up for a whole share. The $500 simply buys whatever fraction of a share that amount gets you every time. The whole point is removing yourself from the decision. You're not trying to guess the perfect entry point. You are just showing up month after month for 20 years and letting the schedule do the discipline for you. Let's meet Sarah. Sarah is 28. She just got serious about investing, and she decided to put $500 into DGRO on the first of every month, skipping lump sums and dip timing entirely in favor of a simple automatic deposit. 12 months in, having put in $6,000 total, her account sits at roughly $6,225 under a conservative 8% annual return assumption. That's about $225 of pure growth stacked on top of what she put in. It doesn't sound dramatic yet. Year 1 rarely does. But that's the seed. And seeds are supposed to look unremarkable. We are going to run 2 scenarios side by side through this whole video, because a single number without context is a marketing trick, not education. The first scenario assumes 8% annual returns. That's a deliberately conservative number, well below what DGRO has actually delivered, and it exists so you have a floor to plan around even in a rougher decade for stocks. The second scenario uses DGRO's actual since inception average annual return, which sits at roughly 12% through mid-2026. We are using the fund's real historical number, not a rounded-up fantasy figure, and we are being upfront that past performance is not a guarantee of what the next 20 years will do. By year 3, Sarah has contributed $18,000 total. Under the conservative model, her balance is around $20,268. Under the historical model, it's closer to $21,538. The gap between those two numbers is small right now, just over $1,000, and that's an important lesson on its own. In the early years, your own contributions are doing almost all the heavy lifting. The market's contribution barely registers. That changes completely later in this video, so keep that gap in mind. Now let's bring in Marcus. Marcus started 5 years before Sarah did, same $500 a month, same fund. At the 5-year mark, Marcus has put in $30,000 of his own money. Under the conservative scenario, his account has grown to about $36,738. Under the historical scenario, it's closer to $40,835. Notice what's happening. The gap between conservative and historical is widening, and it's widening faster than the years are passing. That's compounding starting to wake up. Here's the mechanism behind all of this, because I don't want you just trusting the numbers, I want you understanding them. DGRO pays its dividend every quarter. If you have dividend reinvestment turned on with your broker, sometimes called DRIP, every one of those quarterly payouts automatically buys you more shares the day it lands in your account. Those new shares then earn their own dividends next quarter. You are not just growing your original $500 a month. You are growing the dividends those dollars generated, and then growing the dividends that those dividends generated. It's a chain reaction, and the chain gets longer with every year you leave it alone. Most brokers today set this up as a checkbox. You turn on automatic dividend reinvestment once, and from that point forward, every quarterly payout, no matter how small, gets converted straight back into fractional shares without you lifting a finger. There's no minimum payout required to reinvest, so even a $2 dividend on a small position still buys you a sliver of another share. 7 years in, someone contributing $500 monthly has put in $42,000 total. The conservative scenario shows a balance around $56,057. The historical scenario shows around $65,336. The historical number is now over $23,000 ahead of what was actually deposited. That's not luck. That's 12% compounding for 84 straight months, quietly stacking on itself in the background while life happened around it. Before we get to year 10, let me pause for a second. If you're finding this useful, don't forget to drop a like and hit subscribe. I want to actually build a relationship with you here, instead of just throwing math at you. If you are the kind of person who wants a running conversation about which dividend ETF fits, which goal, SCHD versus DGRO, JEPI versus VYM, that kind of thing, drop a comment with your current monthly contribution amount. I'm reading every single one and pulling the most common questions into future videos. Now let's meet Maya. Maya is the 10-year mark. She has contributed $60,000 of her own money across a full decade of $500 deposits. Under the conservative scenario, her balance sits at $91,473. Under the historical scenario, it's $115,019. Stop and actually sit with that second number for a second. $60,000 deposited, $115,000 sitting in the account, almost double what went in, purely from staying invested and letting DGRO's dividend growth machine run. This is usually the point in a 10-year journey where people get tempted to stop contributing, thinking the balance is big enough now to coast. I'd push back on that instinct gently. The next 10 years are where the real separation happens, and I'm about to show you exactly why. Before we move on, look at what's actually been happening underneath these numbers, because it's not just share price appreciation doing the work. DGRO's fourth quarter payout alone has climbed from about 15 cents per share back in 2016 to roughly 45 cents per share in 2025. That's not a one-time jump. That's a straight, unbroken decade of quarterly raises, through a global shutdown, through inflation spikes, through multiple rate hiking cycles. Every one of those raises landed in shareholder accounts, and for anyone reinvesting, bought more shares automatically. That's the dividend growth in a dividend growth ETF, and it's the entire reason the historical scenario keeps pulling further ahead of the conservative one the longer you hold. At year 12, total contributions reach $72,000. Conservative balance, around $120,254. Historical balance, around $159,531. The historical scenario is now $87,530 ahead of contributions. Compare that to year 7, where the lead was $23,000. In 5 years, that lead nearly quadrupled. This is what people mean when they say compounding is slow, then sudden. By year 15, 17 more years of $500 deposits bring total contributions to $90,000. Conservative balance sits at $173,019. Historical balance sits at $249,790. At this point, the historical scenario has grown to nearly 2.75 times the money actually deposited. Now here's the number this entire video was built around. Year 20, 2 decades of $500 a month. Nothing more, nothing less. Total money out of your own pocket across those 20 years, $120,000. Under the conservative 8% scenario, your DGRO position is worth $294,510. Under DGRO's actual historical average of roughly 12%, your position is worth $494,628. Look at that gap for a second. $120,000 deposited. Nearly $375,000 of pure growth on top of it in the historical scenario. That gap is the verifiable result of 20 years of quarterly dividends reinvesting into more shares, which paid their own dividends, which bought more shares, compounding in the background while paychecks came and went and life happened around it. And if that portfolio is still earning a yield similar to what DGRO pays today, somewhere around 2%, that $494,000 balance alone could be throwing off close to $9,900 a year in dividend income without selling a single share. That's over $800 a month in passive income, on top of whatever the portfolio itself continues to grow by. If 20 years already sounds impressive, stretch the same $500 habit to 30 years and the conservative scenario reaches roughly $745,000, while the historical scenario climbs past $1.7 million against just $180,000 actually contributed. We are not building that full 30-year breakdown in this video, but that number alone should tell you something about what an extra decade of patience is worth. Dividend income tells its own story running alongside that balance, and it's worth checking at the same checkpoints. In year 1, DGRO is already paying you back around $125 a year in the conservative scenario and about $127 in the historical one. Small numbers, but numbers that didn't exist before. By year 3, that income has grown to roughly $405 annually under the conservative model and $431 under the historical one. Year 5 pushes those figures to $735 and $817 a year. At year 7, conservative income crosses $1,121 annually, while the historical scenario is already past $1,300. By year 10, Maya's portfolio is generating close to $1,829 a year in the conservative case and $2,300 in the historical case, arriving whether or not another dollar gets contributed. By year 15, the conservative scenario is paying out roughly $3,460 a year, and the historical scenario is nearing $5,000 annually, close to $416 a month, showing up without a single share sold. And by year 20, the conservative scenario is generating close to $5,900 a year, and the historical scenario is generating close to $9,900 a year, roughly $824 a month, arriving on a quarterly schedule regardless of what the account balance itself does that year. One more thing worth saying plainly before we get to risks. Every one of these numbers assumes you kept contributing through the bad months, not just the good ones. DGRO fell sharply during the 2020 crash right alongside the rest of the market, and anyone who stopped their automatic contribution out of fear that spring missed buying shares at some of the lowest prices in the fund's history. The 20-year numbers we just walked through are built on the assumption that Sarah, Marcus, and Maya kept sending $500 every single month, regardless of what the news was saying that week. That consistency, more than any specific return assumption, is the actual engine behind this whole strategy. Now, credibility matters more to me than hype, so let's talk about what could go wrong, because every dividend growth ETF has trade-offs, and DGRO is no exception. First, DGRO pays quarterly, not monthly. If you are someone who wants dividend checks landing every single month to match your bills, funds like JEPI, JEPQ, or DIVO might fit your cash flow better. Second, DGRO's current yield sits close to 2%, which is lower than higher yield options like SCHD. You are trading current income for dividend growth and lower volatility. And that's a deliberate design choice in the fund, not a flaw, but it needs to match what you actually need right now. Third, past performance is exactly that, past performance. The 12% historical average baked into this video's second scenario came from a period that included one of the strongest bull markets in modern history. There is no guarantee the next 20 years mirror the last 12. Fourth, DGRO holds close to 400 companies, but the top 10 still carry meaningful weight. So sector concentration in energy, healthcare, and financials can swing returns in ways a fully equal weighted fund would not experience. Fifth, taxes matter. If you hold DGRO in a taxable brokerage account, those quarterly dividends are generally taxable in the year you receive them, even if you reinvest every dollar automatically. Holding a fund like this inside a retirement account, such as an IRA, sidesteps that yearly tax bill entirely until withdrawal, which is worth understanding before you decide where these $500 contributions actually live. None of these are reasons to avoid the fund. They are reasons to understand exactly what you own before you commit $500 a month to it for the next 20 years. And if 20 years feels like a long runway you don't have left, this math still works if you're starting later than you'd like. Someone beginning this exact $500 habit at 45 instead of 25 still reaches that same $294,000 to $494,000 range by their mid-60s. Let's recap. $120,000 deposited over 20 years, $294,510 in the conservative scenario, $494,628 if DGRO's historical average holds. That's the entire case for automatic $500 months, done consistently for 2 decades straight. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.